Welcome, Wrestle Buddies, to the Wrestle Buddy podcast. I'm your host, Andy, joined by my co-host, as always, my Drip Foundation brother, Jim A. Baby. How we doing, Jim?
Doing good. How you doing, Andy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not a bad little weekend wrestling, was it?
Pretty good. Pretty good from what I watched. We got some wrestling, we got some entertainment. So what more can you ask for?
Right, that's the one, isn't it? What did you think of this weekend wrestling as a whole?
Had its highs. I feel like there was more highs this week than lows. I haven't fully caught up on Smackdown, so I don't know that one completely. But Raw was down. Dynamite was up. So.
I thought Dynamite was all right. I thought it was. I'll admit, I did think it was going to be a lot better than what it was.
Yeah, I had expectations for it, but then I tried to weigh those expectations after watching it and be like, well, it is just a weekly free sheet show, so
yeah,
compared to what they normally do, it was a what we come to expect of the show, and when you get that kind of match, it kind of elevates it just at least a little bit.
Yeah. Do you not think as well though with AEW? You know, sometimes I always think they kind of put themselves into a corner with this stuff because of the fact that they've just given away for free so often.
Absolutely, they definitely put themselves in a lot of corners, but yeah, sometimes they're able to work their way out of it. So they're still learning. I'm not going to be too harsh on things like that. They're still learning the fundamentals of stuff.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And you know, let's face it, they're a lot better spaced now than what they were a year ago. So they're getting there slowly but surely.
Yeah, and the fact that they made it through the pandemic is still just amazing to think about. Like that shut down a lot of things. So the fact that they were able to make it through and then kind of, it all honestly grow and flourish through it, that was pretty crazy. And yeah.
All right, mate. Well, let's have a little look at the week's wrestling news then. So first of all, we've got Kevin Owens re-signing with WWE. Really big news. Everybody thought that he was going to be on his way out. Not the case. He signed a new multi-year contract. What's your thoughts on that, Jim?
I love it. I love it so much. I've been calling it. I've had a bunch of people tell me I'm crazy, but I mean, honestly, again, as I was pointing out the whole time, he's not going to be dropping those hints on WWE television if the idea of staying there isn't number one to him. They're not going to allow that. They're not going to put him in the main event like they've been doing, pushing him like they've been doing. It's just not going to happen. And what I think, a little tidbit I think is hilarious is Pro Wrestling Tees is like they work with AEW. That's how they sell a lot of their merchandise and stuff. And this month in the box that I got from Pro Wrestling Tees, they had a Kevin Steen shirt. And I just had to laugh because I was like, man, they really must have thought they had this one in the bag, and it didn't happen.
No.
But to be fair, if he went to AEW, I wouldn't have cared. I would have watched him regardless. I'm not one of those guys who's like, he has to. No, I'm just happy staying WWE because it would have been hard to keep watching WWE if he left for me.
Yeah, Alyssa Hassan Whitfield says hello. That's my daughter, my little girl. Hello, Lizzie. Yeah, well, that's it. And he did have a comment on it himself, didn't he, in regards to this? I'm just going to get up exactly what he said because I don't want to say words that are not his own. So bear with me, I'll just get that up. Yeah, so here's Kevin Owens on why he says that. So the news broke Kevin Owens signed his new contract. Owens' new deal is a 3-year contract worth a reported $2 to $3 million a year when he recently signed. Owens appeared on Les Antipodes de la Lutte. I think that's Canadian, so I do apologise. Yeah, it is a WWE French language commentator, Pat Labrat. He said, I will still be with WWE for several years. The decision was pretty easy because it's the best thing for my family, really, when it comes to that. It's always a pretty easy decision to make. WWE has been my home for 7 years now, so I have a sense of belonging. Really good, really, really good, that, to be fair, as well, because, at the end of the day, it shows that us fans sometimes can potentially read into things a bit too much, Jim. And, everyone was like, he's not happy, he's unhappy, he's getting buried, all the rest of it. And, right from the horse's mouth there, he's happy with his contract, isn't he?
Yes, and you can hit me up on Twitter all day if you want. I challenge you. I challenge anybody to tell me a time where Kevin Owens was not booked in a favorable way. Like, he's been booked strong pretty much his entire run in WWE, with maybe the exception of the WrestleMania match between him and Jericho going on second. Other than that, I cannot pinpoint a certain time during his run where I was like, man, they're doing this man dirty.
Yeah.
I would have liked him to have another run by now, but you don't need titles. Some people need titles to be over, and I think he's one of those guys.
This is the thing, and also, you know, at the end of the day, not everyone can be the champion at one point.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, let's have a look at the way I always look at it is, let's look at WWE Golden Era is probably the perfect one to look at, right? And everyone goes on, oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was a legend, Mr. Perfect was a legend, bloody, the list goes, Roddy Piper, you know, the list goes on and on and on. That never had the title because Hogan had it all the time. But it doesn't stop you being a superstar just because you're not a title holder.
Yeah, Roddy Piper is one of the most beloved characters in the history of wrestling, and
100%.
Would he have one run with the Intercontinental title his entire career? Like, if you're over and you're booked well, the titles don't really matter that much.
And you know what? This is one thing that I always say with Charlotte Flair, where I don't believe Charlotte Flair is as high profile as what she does. What she is, because of the fact that once you take that belt off Charlotte, she looks lost as a performer.
Yeah, I think she's taken too much from her daddy, like the title reigns, the name, everything. So because of that, I feel like that title kind of it's important to her and how she's presented on TV. Unfortunately,
Definitely. So Zayn, first of all, he said, "Hello, Daddy." Yeah, don't you ever forget I am your daddy, Zayn. Elijah Sally, Roman Reigns, Liv Morgan. Don't know what you mean by that, but if you can explain a little bit more in the chat, it'd be great, Elijah. Zayn, do you think KO could be winning the title at day one as a possible reward to re-signing? Possibly. He could win the title. I don't think Big E's going to be champion for a longer time. I know people have wanted the belt on Big E for a while. I'll tell you straight, I wasn't one of them. I'm happy he won the title. I'm happy he's had his run, but I feel like he's already run his course. What do you think on it, Jim?
I think the Big E title run has been disappointing at no fault of his own, though.
No.
I think the ambassador work he's done outside of WWE has been fantastic. I don't think we've seen it.
So was Titus O'Neil's, though. Doesn't mean he should be champion.
But as far as Kevin Owens goes, again, to go along with the I've been saying he's going to stay, I've also said he will be champion going into WrestleMania, and I definitely believe it's happening at day one. And going into WrestleMania, I think he'll be taking on Edge because it's a dream match for him. It's a high-profile match for Edge, and it just makes too much sense. And that's his reward for re-signing with them.
Yeah. And do you think that's why they've put Lashley in this one to take the pin?
No, I don't think Lashley takes the pin. I think Seth takes the pin.
Do you? Interesting.
I think Lashley will be Kevin Owens' first, maybe test afterwards.
Okay.
Because he don't need to be in the Royal Rumble if he's facing Brock at WrestleMania.
I mean, what would be quite cool is, like, say for instance, Seth hit a stomp on Lashley, Owens stuns Seth, scoots over and scrolls onto Lashley and pins him, and then that'll, that again starts the feud because, like, you didn't beat me, you scurried in and took it. It's a good way to do it, I suppose. Just in regards to with Big E, why do you think his run's been so disappointing?
I think I don't think they really had a plan. I think I defended the hot shot booking at first when they put the title on him, but I think it's pretty clear they haven't had a big plan for him as far as his run. The first pay-per-view, he didn't even defend it. He was in like a 6-man tag that they announced the day of. The second pay-per-view he defended that was against Drew. It was a very predictable thing. They did it just to get a Drew title match on. And he's just been wrestling the mid-carders, and that's not a knock on mid-carders. I think that's great. But as a champ, you should be the guy. You should be presented as the guy, and they haven't done that. They've just presented him as Big E as normal.
Do you think that when they give Big E the Money in the Bank and stuff like that, WWE have been known to book quite a lot in advance. Do you think maybe they booked him as to win the Money in the Bank and they went, okay, well, we need someone to have the title, and then we've got champion versus champion at Survivor Series, and we need someone in there that can take the pin off Roman? And, you know what I mean? You know where I'm going with this, don't you? They kind of thought like him being champion and taking the pin off Roman's not going to really be a bad thing, because then we're going to take the title off him at day one.
Yeah, that could be. I just don't think they thought that. I think they definitely plan on having Big E win the Money in the Bank. I just don't. Kind of like with Otis last year, I don't think they had a plan for when he was going to cash in or what he was going to do with it. I think they were just like, it's Big E's time. We need to give him this opportunity. And then they jumped the gun because of, some say it was AEW winning the demo that week. Maybe it was Monday Night Football. Something.
Do you see him being a champion again after this, or do you think like this will be his only run?
I think I would like him to be, because I like Big E. I've always liked him. I think his match with Roman Reigns was fantastic, and it showed that he should be a main eventer. But if you look at his run, I don't think it's been a great success. No. And it's going to be hard to sell that to put the title back on him, unfortunately.
The one thing I will say as well, though, like, I think Big E is not at the greatest of runs, but I like Big E more without the title than what I do with the title. I'll be totally honest. I really enjoy Big E. I just don't enjoy him with the title at the moment. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it. I really like Bobby Lashley, for instance. I really enjoyed Bobby's run. I thought it was great the way he was booked and everything else that went with it. Having MVP as the mouthpiece, but for some reason, there's something really missing a bit. Where I'll be honest. Sometimes I forget he's champion.
Yeah, because you look at it like Seth, the title match was booked around Seth and Kevin Owens' story, and Big E's just kind of there, and it's like, he's the champion. Why is it booked? Why isn't it being booked more around him? And then again, he's taking on Chad Gable in the middle of the card, or just someone else, and it's just like, that's not what your champions. That's not what I'm used to my champion doing. I'm used to them being booked as the guy. And they just haven't done it, and it really sucks. And another thing
can I just put in very quickly? Yeah. So in the chat we've had, "Hi Andrew, keep it going," from Ashton Donnelly. My name is Dad, not Andrew. Cheeky little git.
I think another thing that hurts Big E is he's still with the New Day, but he's not with the New Day because they're on different brands, and it's like that. I think that hurts him. I think if they're not going to split him up permanently, then they shouldn't have him on separate shows. It doesn't work. No. They tried it last year, and Big E was more over when New Day and him were on the same show for those few weeks, and then they separate them, and then it's like back to just him.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Then maybe it's the fact that that's what I feel like he's missing, is he needs the New Day around him to be,
or he needs to split from them permanently. There needs to be a split if they want him as just a singles guy by himself.
Yeah. Just to circle back to Kevin Owens very quickly. Now, do you feel like WWE have played on the fact that he could potentially leave when he walked out on the Survivor Series team, etc.?
Oh, yeah.
And, I feel like everybody gives WWE stick for kind of not listening to the fans or not listening to what's going on around, but I feel like they've done it, They done a good knock, yeah.
They trolled him, and I love it. I love a good troll, and Vince is good at it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got from Zane here. Do you think the rest of New Day being on the same show as Big E could have benefited this title run? Yes, Zane, I do. I feel like, just said to Jimmy then, maybe that's what was missing, where he just looks very exposed on his own. Do you know what I mean? Because if you look at Big E throughout his WWE career, he's kind of always been part of something, hasn't he? It's never really worked for him on his own.
I don't think he can't do it on his own. I think he just presents himself as if he's still part of the New Day. And the shtick only works when it's the New Day. If he's not with them, then he's got to do his own thing. And they can't just give him new music and be like, well, he's on his own. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work
because he's still got the same colours and all like that, hasn't he? And as you say, it's just another version of the New Day, really, It's interesting. Hi, Ashton, by the way. Thank you for calling me dad this time round, you little git. Okie doke. So, on to the next bit of news. There was a bit of it's one of these. I think like we have to really speak about it because it was really harsh and it's big news in my eyes this week as well. So, Hannibal, people probably know from his YouTube channel more than his actual wrestling, was over in in Costa Rica working for the Colognes in WCP wrestling. Seems that we've always had a kind of, it's obviously a promotion that's got a lot of notorious memories of Bruiser Brody and whatnot. And on this one, Hannibal went into business for his own, started stabbing the referee in the head, really, really bad, severed arteries as well. The finish was meant to be there, but apparently the referee didn't bleed quick enough or didn't get what Hannibal wanted him to, and he lost it. There was reports of Hannibal being drunk backstage, and then apparently he tried to attack another referee backstage before he went back. What's your thoughts on this whole situation? It just seems a big mess.
I think if anybody ever hires this guy again, they should lose their promotion. What is the point of that? Like, he should be in prison. That's assault. What he did.
Yeah.
I haven't seen like the video. I've just like heard the rumblings of it. I've never even heard this dude Hannibal until this. So obviously he's nothing special if this is what he's got to do to gain attention. And
one thing I will say about this guy is I have heard about him. I've heard of him before, and unfortunately, it's around the same circumstances. So the only other time I heard of Hannibal was me and Dale were talking about it, and he sent me a link to an interview with Lanny Poffo, and Lanny Poffo talks about him choking him in the ring. And Lanny had to really fight him off to get him off. He said he was about to he started seeing stars and stuff, and he said for whatever reason, he said he just doesn't understand why he'd want to do that to him. And he said Lanny Poffo just goes on about how basically Lanny was saying he nearly killed him.
Yeah, and why anyone would book him after that is just beyond me. I just don't. Does he have his own promotion? Does he run something? I don't know. I don't know anything.
I think he's an interviewer. Does interviews and stuff.
There's no reason. People don't need to be tuning into his interviews anymore. They don't need to be giving him social media clout, and they don't. Nobody's booking him. There's no. That's the kind of stuff that gives the wrestling a bad name. Like, why people from the outside looking in and be like, "Yo, that's dumb." Why are people watching that? And, yeah. Get him out of here. Get him. Bye.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all. We're not going to give him much more airtime on this. One thing I did want to mention as well, congratulations to Bret Hart. He's just actually being put into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame. First wrestler to ever be acknowledged in a actual legit Sports Hall of Fame, which is, very well deserved, Bret Hart.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, he's... Okay, so we just got some breaking news here as well. So Sami Zayn will face Nakamura at day one for the IC title. Come on, Sami. I really want to see Sami go into a stable or something with Brock Lesnar. The one thing I will say on this is how much chemistry them two have had these last couple of weeks.
It's fantastic. But how surprised are you? Because as far as entertainment goes. Sami Zayn might be the best entertainer WWE has altogether right now. I don't think anybody is as good as entertaining without the wrestling as Sami Zayn. He's just brilliant. And the fact that he might win a title on the same night that Kevin Owens was a title, I'm just giddy. Give it to me.
Yeah,
I deserve
it, isn't it? I hope whenever they do, they bring back his music properly. I get why they took it away because it's kind of when I went, I didn't really get it. I didn't really get the whole thing with changing his music, and then I went to a live event, and where I was positioned was not far behind the Titantron.
Yeah.
And as he comes out and it goes, duh, 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 and then it goes into the other bit, you see him going, to the crowd like that. And it just clicked in my head. I was like, well, this is his character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just good character work. I do miss the song, obviously, but we have YouTube. We can listen to it whenever we want. It's good character work.
Yeah, that's it. And to be fair, it'd be awesome. No, he didn't break his neck, son. I think that was when he was walking around with that on. It was part of his character, buddy.
He healed overnight. He healed overnight.
Yeah. Just what SmackDown taping was for Xmas Eve. Obviously, you know, it's a bit of a spoiler, but I think a lot of people have probably missed this week's wrestling with the families and whatnot, so I don't mind talking about it. We don't always give spoilers on this channel, guys, for shows and stuff like that, but as I say, Xmas Eve, not a lot of people are going to watch it. But Sammy did win a 12-man gauntlet match, beating Ricochet to go through to day one to face Nakamura.
So if you're a Sammy fan, you have all the reason in the world to watch the match now.
Yeah. And also another thing I'll just say is with his music, eventually when he does turn... You know, because with the Great Liberator character as a whole, obviously he's annoying and he's the bad guy in that, but eventually you could see the face turn coming.
Yeah, the conspiracy.
When it does,
he's going to be such a big baby face, and he's so good at that too.
Yeah. So, you know, we've got a lot to look out to, which is cool. So, another thing I wanted to mention as well is Bianca Belair recently come out in the news and said that she wants to win back-to-back Royal Rumbles. What's your thoughts on Bianca winning the Royal Rumble? I know we've had males do it before. Obviously, Austin done it back in the day as well. I think Bret Hart was the other one, was he? He won back-to-back Royal Rumbles?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Right, I'm gonna look that up now. But what's your thoughts on that, Jim? Just while I look at this.
No. I was just thinking about this the other day of the people who are most likely to win the Royal Rumble this year. One is Drew McIntyre, which I don't want to win because he just won it, and then Bianca Belair is the other one, and I don't want her to win it because she just won it. I think they're both in positions now where they don't need to win the Royal Rumble to insert themselves into that position. Yeah. I like the Royal Rumble to be used as almost like a catapult to throw someone into there and kind of get like Drew needed it when he won it. Absolutely needed it. But now he's at a level he doesn't need it. Bianca's there too. She might be the biggest babyface in WWE right now. People love her and she's booked so strong. Like, so what would be the point of it? It just takes away someone else's opportunity.
But at the same time, you know, I mean, for Drew didn't win it last year, did he? He won it the year before.
Yeah, but it's fresh though. That's my point. It's still fresh.
So there's only actually 3 people who have won back-to-back Royal Rumbles: Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, and Stone Cold.
And the only one of those that made sense to me was Stone Cold because of the whole storyline that was going. Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, legends. Yeah, here we go. It's a good 40 here by Alex. Lesnar with Heyman versus Lashley and MVP at Mania. Yeah, definitely, mate. Just give 2 seconds. We're going to ring back round now to Heyman and Reigns from yesterday. But just very quickly, who would you like to win the Royal Rumble then for the women's perspective? I'm just interested to know.
If Bayley is available, put Bayley in as a surprise entrance, have her win it. She's over as a babyface, and she can challenge either the heel Charlotte or the heel Becky Lynch, and it's money. Yeah, that's a main event match for night one. Like, if she's not, I don't know. That's kind of a tough one because if you do Liv Morgan, then you got to stretch that out for a lot longer. And
I think Liv's going to win the belt at day one.
That's fair. That could happen. But then on the SmackDown side, it wouldn't surprise me if they gave it to Sasha just because she hasn't won it, and they like to feed that stuff to the Four Horsemen.
Rhea Ripley is another one. That's a good choice, maybe. Reset her. It could reset her again, couldn't it? Or, you know, you got Tony Storm there or Shotzi, maybe. Someone like that who could give them a shot in the arm, maybe. Yeah. You know.
I wouldn't be mad at Shotzi.
Yeah, just not Natalia.
Don't you put that in the universe, man.
I know, yeah. I don't even know what whisper it. Anyway, right, last night's SmackDown, then we'll have a little chat about that. What's your thoughts on what happened with Reigns firing Heyman?
It's a ruse. It's all a ruse.
Yeah.
He's gonna screw Brock at day one. That's all.
Yeah. That's 100% right, and then it's going to be Heyman on a pole match at WrestleMania.
As long as he
No,
has a microphone in his hand, dude, I would not mind watching that match.
no, I reckon you're right there. I reckon it's definitely, you know, it'll be at the end of it. Oh, we sorted this all along and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna go through this a little bit now. So day one so far. Let's have a little look at the card very quickly. It really is, isn't it? You know, it's you can see this is Nick Khan's brainchild, isn't it?
Yeah.
But apart from the only match on there, I kind of look at and go, "Oh no," is Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Poor Drew, poor Drew.
Nah.
I think Drew's gonna win the Royal Rumble. You know, I feel like they've just said to him, "Look, go across here, mess around with Corbin and stuff for a bit, and then we'll win the Royal Rumble, reset, let's go."
No. It's Madcap Moss. He's not facing Baron Corbin.
No, it's Madcap Moss he's facing.
Wow, that's wild. Nick Khan must really like Madcap Moss.
It's crazy, isn't it? So the confirmed matches we've got for this title, look, for this pay-per-view so far, we'll just break it down. Brock Roman, as we know, Fatal 4-Way, Lashley, Rollins, Owens, Big E, Becky versus Liv, Sammy versus Shinsuke, New Day versus the Usos again. Then we've got Edge versus The Miz. Not a bad little feud for Edge, that one. And then we've got, Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Oh, and the rappers, the Migos, are making a special Edge appearance as their straightened single is the official theme song. Who are the Migos? Do we know who they are?
I know who they are. I do not listen to them.
I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't have a clue who they are, mate. I don't really know at all. So, another little bit of news that, obviously, you know, on WrestleBuddy, we don't really like to talk about people's personal life, but seems people, you know, this has come from Sammy Guevara himself. He's popped it out there, you know, let's have a little, you know, he wants to put it out there, then we're going to discuss it. So, he obviously had a very public engagement to his fiancée. He's now come out on Twitter and said that them two are over and done with. Someone's getting a bit of tay-tay, do you think?
I mean, the writing's on the wall. And if that's the case, man, I feel so bad for his ex-fiance. Like, to have it so publicized when they got engaged. And I feel like she's been like a big part of his vlogging and all that. And then, I feel bad for her.
I do feel bad for her, especially, I don't know whether you see all the pictures of him and Tay at the conventions and whatnot.
All the time.
Yeah, but, you know, it is what it is. I suppose people have the things and they do. Did you see Sasha Banks on Smackdown with the Spider-Man gear?
I did. She's at the red carpet and all that. She's there.
Yeah.
It's funny when you see things like that because you always hear that WWE is afraid to allow their superstars to become megastars. But then you see things like that where Sasha Banks, she's in the TV show, she's on the red carpets, and that's the kind of stuff that turns those guys into megastars. So WWE clearly does not care as much as the Twitter trolls would like to believe.
Yeah. Just a little bit here. Alex has commented, Reigns versus Lesnar for Heyman's custody. That'd be brilliant. Just a point here. So, The Miz, where's The Miz being? Do you think Roman Reigns will still be a heel without Paul? Yeah, I see Roman being a heel, Ashton. I think that there's going to be a bit of there's something going on here in the background, mate, and I think that Reigns and Heyman are definitely not done, as Jimmy said as well. And as for The Miz, he's been on Dancing with the Stars in America, which for you UK viewers is Strictly Come Dancing. So he's been in ballroom dancing, mate, over in America. Yep. Okay, just on another thing on Roman Reigns as well is, have you seen his new T-shirt?
It's so brilliant.
Oh,
and to
brilliant.
debut it the way they did it, like, goes back to what I'd said before. They're such trolls, and I love it. They're so good at it. Like, I was showing it to my girlfriend, and she was like, dude, that is hilarious. It is just so fun. And I didn't notice it at first, but to have the Chicago stars as the notches for the needle, was just the extra touch to be like, hey, I'm the needle mover, Punk. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And last but not least, maybe we'll wrap it up pretty shortly. Just a couple of things I want to go over. So, finals of the AEW Original Owen Hart Foundation tournament will take place at the 2022 Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Now, noted on Tony Khan revealed on Friday there will be 2 tournaments, single matches for the Owen Hart Cup, one men's division and one for the women's division, which I really, really like that fact that they're doing both. I think it adds a lot of layers to it. It will take place in March next year, and the finals will be at Double or Nothing in May next year. Sorry, it'll start and then it'll come up at All or Nothing. Double or Nothing with Owen Hart's widow, Dr. Martha Hart, will be there to present the trophies, which I think is really cool. Also, one thing that he did say as well is that unfortunately Owen Hart did die in May, but he was also born in May. So it's a very significant month in his life and legacy, and a thing like the way that they've kind of incorporated all this stuff, really classy and really nice. What's your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to how they present the whole thing. I want to see because they do things very well. Like when they really plan things in AEW, it comes across really well when they actually put forth the effort, and it seems like they're really putting a lot of effort into this. And working close with Martha to where it can honor Owen as much as possible without stepping on any toes. So I'm looking forward to how the whole thing is presented.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, not the cynical thing in me or nothing like that, but just how did he go about doing video packages and things like that? Because the majority of his footage is owned by WWE. Now, I know Tony Khan has said WWE have reached out and asked him for footage or stuff to use for people for interviews and stuff. Do you think they might ask the other way around here? And do you think WWE will grant them it?
I think WWE has a real opportunity here to for a PR stunt, if you will, to just not even lend it, just give it to them and allow them to use maybe not all the footage, but give them enough to where they can do a video package for Owen. To honor him with this tournament. That's something to keep an eye on. It'll be interesting how that happens. If not, they'll have to go with interviews with other wrestlers and home videos of Martha's and things of that nature.
I think even the older footage, don't forget, I'm sure WWE owns the Stampede catalogue as well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So, I don't believe Owen really wrestled many, not on in terms of, footage-wise of him, apart from Stampede Wrestling and WWE. If they own both sides of that, then it's going to be interesting to see if they can get footage from anywhere.
This is where Chris Jericho can step in and be an ambassador to
like a broker,
connect the two and be like, hey. I mean, from what he says, he still talks to Vince, I guess, occasionally. They still text or whatever. So the line of communication is there, and Chris is the guy that I guess could make it happen.
Definitely.
But with that said, he better not win this tournament.
No. Well, it's funny you should say that because Zayn Jafari, I know who's winning the tournament. He's definitely not.
No. Make sure you delete that as soon as it pops up, Alex.
Yeah. Well, Alex has put definitely Eddie Kingston is not winning, Zayn. No, he's fucking not, Zayn. And also, I'm going to explain to you why he's not going to win it, right? Because you've got Dr. Martha Hart of the Owen Hart Foundation, a prestigious foundation that helps a lot of children and does a lot of things. They don't want no scruffy-ass New Yorker who hasn't had a wash for how long, representing the Owen Hart Foundation, mate, and having to come close to where Dr. Martha Hart would have to be in the same kind of vicinity of the ring as her. Do you know what I mean? Which would make him look even more scruffy when she looks very, very well done and presented well. So, no, he's not going to win it at all. But it's a very good point. Ashton's put very true. But let's have a little think then. Who would we go for, Jim? If we were going to... let's start with the males then. Who would we go for in the males division?
I don't know. I would like to have a list of the people they're going to use before I made a guess. But
I think there's one...
I would assume it's going to be a Canadian. That would be my.
There's one glaring one there that I don't think people are realising, and for me, it'd be a no-brainer.
Who's that?
Pillman Jr.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to like really catapult him.
Yeah, it would, but also the store. You know, you could have him come out at the start of the tournament and be like, you know, Owen and my dad, and you know, it really build up. Yeah, Jungle Boy's not winning it either.
He deleted it anyway.
But you know what I mean. There's a story there, isn't there?
That'd be a good one. Yeah. Without a list though, I mean, there's so many options because it could just be the flavor of the month at the time that they give it to, just to see what it does for them. I don't see a heel winning though. I definitely see a babyface winning it for sure.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. It's gotta be, hasn't it? Women's. Who do we reckon in the women's? Fucking Cody Rhodes is not winning it, Alex. Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't be mad at Cody Rhodes winning. I'm all in on Cody Rhodes at this point. I love him. But for women, man, that's another tough one. I'm just gonna say Serena Deeb because I feel like she deserves something, and she's the best. I feel like she's the best technical wrestler they have on that roster in the women's division. So.
Evening, Russ. How we doing, mate? I suppose that's meant to say evening instead of evening. Oh, we'll take that as an even. How we doing, my man? What about Julia Hart?
I don't know anything about. I don't know what they do with her. Like, is she a Hart? I don't know.
I don't think she is a Hart, but
she is, but
you know how these companies like to kind of put things together based on, you know, something like that. So it could happen, but I think, do you know what? Just what's really sad though is because of the way that the girls' division is, it's
this isn't WWE, man.
No.
That'd be the control moves.
Do you know what I mean? No, don't. I like. It shows you that women's division is quite weak in it at the moment.
I mean, they've grown tremendously. I think they have a lot of good talent, but it's just a matter of not getting them on TV recognizable by the viewers.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard to watch the other YouTube stuff, and they have a good understanding of these women, but the few casuals they have just don't get to see these other girls showcase.
No. I tell you what, it'd be interesting. Tay Conte, it'd be a good one for me. I feel like she's done a really good job in the feuds with Britt Baker, and this should probably be a good way to kind of take her to that next little bit of, you know, to give her something and give her to a next level, because, you know, you're not going to give her the title at the moment. I think Cargill's definitely winning the new TBS title, isn't it? So probably be a good thing to give Tay. Do you know what I mean?
Tay's the one they should be really trying to push and put the rocket to. I think everything about it's like she has potential, like, to be the best woman on that roster. She has the look, like, that she's a complete package pretty much when you're looking at a women's wrestler. So to give her that opportunity and really push her would be a good idea. And then another one, Ruby Soho, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Nope.
Saying that, I suppose it depends on him and Martha, doesn't it?
And Martha, nope. Nope.
Well, if you get them at the different times, though, you potentially could do.
We'll see.
Maybe from Brett's side, it might be a way of him trying to get back in that. You know what I mean? You don't know. It'd be interesting.
You don't know. No. If he does, good on him. If he doesn't, I
tell you what would be the most awesome thing if they signed Teddy Hart. He just come rolling in, won the Owen Hart Cup. Brilliant. I love Teddy Hart. I really do. Just on the women's division in AEW, because I think it's something that we don't talk about a lot, and I think like it's something that we should talk about more. Who do you see being the next one to come in to that company, into the company, and do it? Emma Moon.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Do you see Deonna Purrazzo going over there?
I don't know anything about her contract or stuff like that. And they don't have a working relationship with Impact at the moment, so I think it would be good for her. It puts her on a bigger stage and allows her to grow her brand more. I think it'd be good, and it would help that division out a lot. But it's just a wait and see.
Yeah, Oscar can't be in it, son, because he's in WWE. He is in WWE. Do you know what? I found out something about Oscar the other day, and my mind just went.
Her age.
Her age, mate. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how old is she? 41, isn't she?
40. I think 40.
Yeah.
Unless she just turned 41. Yeah.
Well, crazy. Absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, honest to God, mind blow. But yeah, as I say, there's a lot of it's really got a lot of potential. Natalia will win the tournament as a surprise entrance. But it wouldn't surprise me with her. She'll fucking leech onto anything she can just to keep relevant. Fucking stealing a living. Always has done. I know it sounds terrible, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Apart from that, mate, I think we're pretty much done this week. I think there was not much else really newsworthy. You know, what was your thoughts on it and the standouts to you?
Just your quick thoughts on the Hangman Page, Daniel or Bryan Danielson match.
Sorry, yeah, we have got that. Like the match, thought it was too soon. That considering they'd just done the time limit draw with Omega and Bryan, I don't really like the fact that they revisited it that quickly.
Yeah.
No.
I think it was odd to do it on TV with all those breaks. I know a lot of people are like, you got picture in picture and you're just looking for reasons to complain. But the problem I had was every time I started to really get into the match, here comes a commercial break, and I'm trying to watch it. Shut up. As I'm trying to watch the match, I'm listening to an ad about Geico, and it's like I can't get in the match with that. Come back, and then I got to reinvest myself in the match. By the time that happens, here comes another commercial break. And then to have to sit there for an hour going through that, being like, okay, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, to get a time limit draw was like, come on, give me something. That's not to take away from the match, because it was a great match, and I would love to watch it without those commercial breaks.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was a weird decision to go with that on TV.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think like the problem with AEW at the moment is we were talking about this offline before, is like we've come to expect so much, haven't we, that it's become too much. Do you know what I mean?
I will say this: Tony kind of teased more debuts, and at the end with the lights going out, totally thought a debut was coming because that's what they do. And for it to not be a debut, I thought was brilliant. I thought it was a great move because it fooled the fans, which is not something AEW does a lot, because a lot of their stuff is predictable. And it's the stuff fans want to see, so they don't have a problem with it. But when they're able to pull a fast one on people, I think that's great, and they need to work more on doing things like that, because that was just brilliant, like to really foil people.
Yeah. Yeah, as I say, I really thought it was a great thing. Do you ever see Johnny Gargano going to AEW when his contract runs out? Ash, no, mate, I don't. I really don't. Not at the moment. I feel like he's going to take some time off. Me personally, I see Impact as the place for Gargano if he doesn't go back to WWE, because obviously they've offered him money and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know where, he's due to become a dad soon. And, could this be the reason why he ends up taking his time off, because he wants to turn around and do it? Or whether because he doesn't want to wrestle for now, because he wants to spend some time with his kids and keep his options open. Who knows? But I feel like if he doesn't go to WWE, I feel like Impact's probably the place for him to land, in my eyes.
Yeah, that's what I think. The Impact. I don't even see the WWE thing happening anymore. I think he's with the Pro Wrestling Tees partnership and doing the streaming stuff now. I think he's really separate himself from WWE with those, since how they don't let you do that streaming stuff. And in the streams, he's hinted at wanting to wrestle Daniel Bryan and wanting to wrestle Kenny Omega, and that's just not going to happen in WWE. So
No,
I think he's done there.
Yeah. All right, here we have comments off Gene Baisley, VOYFOI. Don't know what the fuck that means, but
Hell yeah.
thanks for watching. Anyway, apart from that, guys, I think we've rounded up everything for this week. It wasn't a great week in terms of news and whatnot. Obviously, we had the Kevin Owens news, which was big news. But apart from that, we didn't have a lot of wrestling news. But it was still an enjoyable week of wrestling, Jim, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. And I thoroughly enjoyed the Kevin Owens news, so that was just icing on the top. I'm still just smiling about it. Just seeing all the tears still to this day.
Oh, right, little message from me, lad there, being great, keep it up. Thanks, son. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Merry Christmas from everyone here at WrestleBuddy. Make sure you do check out the videos on our... oh, God.
Yes, keep him backstage.
Yeah,
keep me
backstage. Hi, Zane. Bye, Zane. No, thanks for watching the videos, guys. Make sure you do check out our YouTube videos. You know, I say it every week and I'll say it again. Check out Jimmy's Raw and Dynamite reviews. We will try and get a Smackdown one run after Christmas if that's something that people want. I may look to do it myself on a Saturday morning after the fact. But, you know, always go and check out Jimmy's videos on the Raw and AEW Dynamite. Remember, if you haven't got time to watch the Dynamite, or you want to turn around and find out what happened before you go back and watch it, Jimmy will give you that little rundown on there and tell you everything that went on there, and he always gives a very honest and open review on that show. So make sure you go. Yeah, so he watches so you don't have to.
Yep.
That's what the whole motto is. My son's just put Merry Christmas everyone but Zane. Well done, son. Well done. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. As I say, you know, if you're new to the WrestleBuddy channel, go back and check some of the awesome interviews that we've done on the channel. You know, there's some absolutely amazing interviews we've done this year from Vince Russo, Carlitos, Jeff Jarrett, to name but a few. You know, if you're into your old school wrestling, we've also done Ricky Morton. You know, we've done a lot of stars on there. Me and Jimmy interviewed Killian Dane, which was an awesome interview and an awesome guy to do it with as well, or Big Damo as he's known now. You know, we've got interviews with ECW legends, WCW guys, WWE ex-guys, you know, Impact guys, you know, a lot of Impact guys on there, as well as, you know, there's a lot of a big wide variety of stuff. Quiz Buddies as well, really good show that we have, so go and check all the good stuff out, guys. And as I say, you know, going forward, we're going to be having a lot more content, a lot more stuff. You know, considering what we've achieved in the past 6 months, we're only just going to grow stronger and stronger, but it's all down to you guys watching and supporting. So thank you to each and every one of you. And from me and Jimmy, until next time, we will see you again. Take care now. Bye. Oh, and also check out WrestleBuddy.com for all the latest news and views.
And follow me for giveaways.
Yes, and you'll see that in the description.
Jimmy Bebe, the giveaways.
Yes.
Bye-bye. Boom. Zane.